Welcome to Conscious Business Talks. It's great to have you here with me today, and it is to talk about something that I think seems to just be in the air today or these days. I don't think it's just today. I think it's just all the time, and anytime I'm hearing about the way it was and going back to the normal and when things will return to the normal, and oh my gosh, even when I catch myself thinking, okay, things are not computing, they're not adding up, what's going on? And a part of me is reaching for that comfort that I derive from when things make sense, right? So that brought to my mind going, okay, what is this thing? And in business, there is a principle that literally, excuse me. Hey, Sishan. So great to have you, darling. Oh, it makes me happy that you're here for this, especially for this particular one. So when I'm catching myself doing that, and there were a couple of conversations, especially today, that brought this to the core, and I'm like, okay, gotta talk about this. Because in business, there are several times when we're like, okay, are we clinging to things that no longer apply? And because such a huge part of me, and what Matt and I like to talk about, and friends of ours, what they're interested in, it's the conversation almost always is turning towards innovation. And when you are committed to this culture of innovation, things, nobody else, hopefully nobody else has to challenge things for you to kind of say, hey, are things really still working the way we thought? And are we still serving who we thought? Are we still doing things that make sense? Or does it need to be shaken up a little bit, right? Because all jolts are not like to me, getting jolted is not necessarily a bad thing, right? When you shake things up, because at first it shocks your system, but then there is this invigorated space that you just live in, right? And you occupy, because now things are I don't know, you're just more awake up to the opportunities that are around you. And I'll use this analogy because, okay, it might seem a little crazy to those of you who are not into experimenting with cold showers, but that's the the analogy that comes to mind, because I was following something that this awesome human, I don't know if you know of Wim Hof, but he was into cold showers, and I was like, cold showers, I confess, I'm not into cold showers. Or frankly, up until that point, I was just like, even cold, I like my little mug or cup of coffee or tea or hot chocolate, fireplace blankie. That's more me, right? Going down that slope, that ski hill, you go down, I'll wait here in front of the fireplace. Not that anyway. So, but the funny thing was, when I started, I said, okay, I'll try this. I'll try it. What the heck? I'll try just about anything once, just about. But anyway, these cold showers, by the way, cold showers mean entirely different things depending on which part of the world you're occupying. Because cold showers in California, I discovered, have no comparisons to cold showers, say, in Chicago or New York or Canada. So yeah, cold showers, when I'm talking icy cold showers, right? You put it on the coldest setting and you go for it. But the funny thing was that when I started, it's this jolt that hits you, right? When you first turn that shower on and you're like, oh my God, it's pins and needles, and it's like little cold needles just all over you. But the funny thing is, then you just start to feel more alive than you ever have been. And I remember walking out in Virginia, and everybody else was all buttoned up, big coats on, because the snowstorm was just starting to hit. And I was like, I I could have not even buttoned up my jacket. The cold was my friend. I wasn't hitting me. I felt the rays of sunshine. I felt the breeze. Like I felt everything, like my senses were more alive than ever. So that's the analogy that I want you, that's the feeling I want you to keep in mind when I'm talking about innovation, being open to opportunities and what else is life offering you, even when you don't think it is, right? When the old rules are not applying and you are sort of scrambling a bit, right? And hey, MJ, great to see you. And oh, thank you. I love these colors. And today seemed like a day to have them on. And yes, stepping out and totally stepping out of your comfort zone. But the funny thing is that when you do, your perspective shifts. The things that you didn't see before sometimes are just popping up and being more apparent to you. And some of those things are a fit, and some of those things are not. But you're in a space that you can actually look at them and with total conscious awareness choose what applies and what doesn't. And Zishan, I love this. Innovation is very important. We always need to strive for new opportunities and ways to go about things. Yeah, and it takes a commitment to challenge your own paradigm, your own way of looking at things, and stepping away from that nostalgic adherence to the status quo, because I remember even in business school, we were kind of looking at that. Yes, we need to always be aware of what the competition is doing. And there is, all these cycles and everything and so on and so forth. But the reality of all of that really is that if you are not looking at things with fresh eyes, if you're not questioning and being aware of and bringing into your consciousness this connection with whom you're serving and why you're serving it and how you are serving those people, somebody else is going to. Because that creative flow, that connection, those gaps in the marketplace, those gaps in your life, those gaps in your business, whatever those things are, somebody is going to look at those gaps. And I'd rather it be me who's questioning it and trying to, for lack of a better phrasing, trying to figure out ways to put yourself out of business, right? How can we make ourselves obsolete? How can we look at it with fresh eyes so we're making sure that whatever the people we are serving, they're truly actually being served in a way that they didn't even anticipate. And I'm not saying breaking things that don't need to be broken, because that's where that connection and that conscious awareness comes in. But the funny thing is that being on top of that wave, being on top of that trend analysis, and being aware of what opportunities are surfacing in your market. And the odd thing that came to my mind today, and it's really so common sense that it doesn't, it's not like anything that is spectacularly like bombshell worthy kind of attention, but it just is one of those things that are in and around you. You're just not always paying attention to it. And it was a conversation that I had with my neighbor who was so disturbed because somebody in their family wasn't following what everybody else in the family was so comfortable and adhering to, right? So they seem to be the outlier or the and fast becoming the outcast because they were not following what the common theme of the family was. And this is also something that I'm noticing in the discussions, where there are discussions about some of the mandates that are rolling around as well, because as much as they affect your personal life, they also very much affect your business life. So there is a tendency for the terms that popped up in my mind as I was hearing conversations, some of them on the personal side, some of them on the business side, was groupthink, right? And when we fall prey to groupthink. And when we do, what does that do to that adherence to that innovation principle, right? To being able to step out of your comfort zone and question things, even when the questions are darned uncomfortable. And sometimes those questions are not just challenging, but they are threatening, because they're threatening the paradigm that you're living in, right? And the odd thing is that some of the things are not making sense to me right now, which, as a business owner, I mean, forget about my personal life, but from my business life itself, I'm having sometimes a little bit of a dissonance in the decision making, because I'm like, okay, I know we talk about, as entrepreneurs, stepping into uncertainty all the time. But the funny thing is that I prefer it to be a bit of a calculated uncertainty, right? Where you put in place the things that you know, the things about where you want to go, as much information to support things, and then you're taking the steps that make sense, even if the only thing evident to you is the very next step that you're taking, right? But in making those decisions, there's still some things that need to be in place, because in essence, you're betting your business on some of those decisions, right? As oh my gosh, okay, now that's gonna bug me, because I'm thinking of the person, door 1 and door 2, the door type 1 and door type 2. Oh man, who is it who used to always do that? I'll have to look it up and share with you. But that part, that's what was coming to my mind, that okay, this is the door number 1 type of decision, because I'm literally going to be committing resources to this. I'm going to be committing my time, money, and all kinds of other things that I'm banking my business on this. So do I want to walk through that door? It is not something that I can easily reverse, right? So as I was asking myself, there was very uncomfortable questions. That part about, oh man, I wish things were making more sense the way they did, because part of me is looking at the rules and thinking, not only are the rules changing really rapidly, some of them are fast becoming a part of a very rapidly receding past. And it almost seems like that past, in fact, I know that past is gone. Whatever we are dealing with now is the new normal, right? And whether I like it or not, a lot of those aspects are not in my control. So what is in my control? How do I get to show up? What space do I want to occupy? How do I want to think? And what do I want to create in this space that I am now occupying? What are the new rules that are applicable to this space? How much of those new rules am I comfortable with? And what do I want to do with the ones that I am not? Is there something that it's okay, Matthew, thank you. It is Bezos that trains his people with door 1 and door 2 decisions. And whether or not you like, Amazon's policies, and whether or not you like, how a particular founder or CEO, his particular set of values you agree with or disagree with, I believe that just about every human put on this earth has something that you can actually take and apply it in a way that helps other humans. And his philosophy, his training of door 1 and door 2, it's actually a really good way of simplifying decision making and making and putting a certain set of lenses on that allow you to see, is this the type of decision that I can change really fast if things don't work out? Or is this the kind of thing that's asking for more commitment and that is not going to be easily changeable? And so how do I proceed with this? And obviously a lot more thought is going to go into door number one type of decisions than they're going to require when it's a door number two type of decision. But yeah, so when rules are breaking, because right now that's what it feels like to me some days, that the old rules are not just changing, they're broken. So what are we going to do with the new set of rules? And given that I have the privilege and the luck to live in a democratic country, I like to think that in democratic countries, the opinions and desires, the wishes of the people matter, right? So what is it that as humanity, as leaders of this time, we are going to step into and make happen? But that's a discussion for another time. Right now, what my thoughts are occupied with is, given that the old rules are not applicable, clinging to the way things used to be, the way it was, quote, the way it was, isn't applicable right now. So do we sit here moping about what it was and isn't now, or do we step into that cold shower and wake up our senses to see, awesome, cool, but given the fact that I still have my feet firmly upon this earth, I'm still on this plane, what is it that I'm going to do to be aware of and conscious of the opportunities that are around me? How do they align with my set of values? How do they align with how I want to show up in this world and what my North Star is? And what are the next steps that I can take so I'm not frozen by indecision, clinging to what used to be and is no longer applicable, but the new paradigm is something that awaits me. The people who I'm serving, are they still the right people for me? And if they are, am I truly serving them? How am I serving them? And where are we going? What is this journey looking like for all of us? And let me take a look here. Oh goodness, it is better than freezing up and not making decisions. 100%. It is so much better than freezing up and not making decisions, because it's like somebody had that that example of a donkey, right? Where there is this food, or this bucket of water and this bucket of food, and he's thirsty and he's also hungry, and in that indecision, do I need to drink first? Do I need to eat first? Do I need to drink first? Do I need to eat first? You just die on that spot because you're not moving anywhere. That confusion, that indecision, that confuddled, frozen stasis kills you. So no, 100%. Door one versus door two is a good way of looking at things. It simplifies your decision making, because now you're aware of and conscious of what type of decision are you looking at? How much of your time and attention does it require? Because if it is easily reversible, well, then it is not going to be something that you're going to need to think as carefully about and invest as much time making decisions and looking at everything that surrounds it as something that is more easily reversible, right? Or changeable, or you can pivot really fast from it. And things change over time and we develop new ways of doing things. Yes, we do. And when we don't, then it leaves us in a place where we may not be open to and seeing what else is there that's showing up. Because if I believe that I'm here to serve a particular purpose, that my being on this earth is not an accident. There is a true reason why me specifically was put here. And the people that I'm interacting with, the people in my circle, the people I continue to meet, the people I'm excited to serve, those particular people are also in my sphere because I'm showing up a particular way. And it is not an accident. It is not a coincidence that we are, out of all of the people in this entire world, we are crossing paths, right? When you're looking at that in that way, what opportunities are there for us to explore together? How can I show up and serve my clients in a way that makes it a no-brainer for them to say, I am now your ambassador. You take care of me in a way, it makes a no-brainer for me to show up whenever it is that my evolving needs need, because you're either going to be able to provide it, or who you refer me to and tell me, hey, go there, is somebody who's aligned with the values that you have. And I will have so much more peace of mind knowing that, oh, my trusted advisor, my trusted provider is recommending this person, right? How much powerful is that relationship versus I'm making myself obsolete because I'm unable to look at what is the requirement, even if things are not changing the way they are around us right now, like the conditions, whether it's political, whether it's economic, whether it's social or cultural. There is always change. Sometimes the pace of change is more rapid. It's about looking at it and saying, status quo, comfort, and obsolescence, or do I want to step in and see what is it that this amazing universe, God, whatever, however you're comfortable thinking of it, if this being here of mine is not an accident, then what is this that I'm expected to see? If only I just tilt my head and look at what I may not, if I'm back here going, oh, I don't like this, I don't like this, I just need to be over there, right? It's you know what? I just realized I still have a tag on this. Isn't that fun? When you don't pay attention to what never mind. You get the point. I am thrilled that you were here with me. I am thrilled to know what is it that you are embracing despite the discomfort in the new environment, whatever it happens to be that you are finding yourself in. Or perhaps you are deliberately stepping into a new set of conditions, a new set of rules, a new set of opportunities, despite the uncertainty and the discomfort, because like that, because you are so committed to being on that innovative edge of things, that you don't want to wait for somebody else to push you into it. You're going to step into it because you're excited to explore the new frontiers, right? So, like always, nothing thrills me more than to find out what is it that you are doing. Share with me. And on the point of that sharing, if anything in this is something you believe will excite somebody and get them to take their own little cold shower to kind of wake up their senses and see what is it I want to be doing, despite all the this is gross, I don't like it, the things are changing, the rules are breaking, they don't apply, I don't know where things are going, kind of a mindset if they're in, but they need to shake things up a little bit to see what opportunities are there for them. Share this with them and share these ideas, spread them around, because that's where all the fun is, right? When you do these things. So awesome that you were here with me. As always, lots of love. See you here next Thursday, 8:30 Eastern Time. 6:30 Mountain Time, 5:30 Pacific, and in Australia, where some of my awesome friends are, it's 10:30 a.m. Friday. See, I remember that. Here's the music for you as we say goodbye for one more week.